Hello and welcome back to another DWC review, and thankfully this is a short one for anybody who's been watching and watched my epic meltdown on the ME410. And this one is another Sky Guardians Hawker Sea Fury, this one being FB11, and it's representing the Royal Australian Navy, number 115, marked up as NW. So let's get into this and have a little look. So for anyone new to the hobby, Sky Guardians or Witty Sky Guardians are now a defunct company, and they existed for a number of years and generally come with down undercarriage only. Towards the end, they did offer some options in terms of up and down, not on the Sea Fury, and particularly P38 was one that sort of stands out, and I believe a couple of Mustangs as well. But this one does come with a fitted undercarriage. So the box in general, although we've got a lovely photo on the front there, on the back you've got a panel where you can see through and look at the actual model, which is nice. You've got the specifications of the aircraft in terms of size, weight, top speed, power plant, dimensions and whatnot. And of course, when you open it up, you've got the range inside there. So they made the Sea Fury FB11, the P51D, ME109G, Spitfire 8, Spitfire 9, Spitfire 16, 0, 0 AGM3 and the 0 AGM5. And of course, they've got the modern series there, which is of course the Tomcat, F16, SU-27 Flanker, F-15 Eagle, F-18 Super Hornet, and it says coming soon, obviously that's been undone now, the F-104 Starfighter. So no real history on the aircraft other than a few pictures there. This is actually in the Royal Canadian Navy, which I believe is wrong because there's a bloody kangaroo on it. Now, I don't know how many Canadian naval aircraft have a kangaroo on the side. So, obvious error there, but this is Royal Australian Navy, as you can see there. So it's 724 Squadron, so they've obviously got it mixed up with a different release there. Bit of a schoolboy error. So, let's get her out of the box and have a little look. So here she's out of the box, very similar style to a top clamshell for a Corgi, but just pops in there. You've got the squares in the bottom and the circles. We've got a small stand here, which is anybody who's got easy model will know that this is very similar to an easy model stand. You've got a bit at the front there, which is obviously a different Sea Fury that somebody has put in and sold. Not that I'm too bothered because Sea Fury is a Sea Fury. I think that's a nice little touch. So if you're putting it onto your display stands, that you've got something that tells people what the aircraft is, and of course it's there, literally just sat in. It's not tucked in as such. The clever design is that it literally just sits in the shell nice and simply. So let's put her up on the stand first, and before we put her on our wheels. Really, really simple. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little square peg, and then that little square peg pops in there. It's not the most sturdiest stands you want to see, but it sits in it. Well, I say it's not the most sturdy. It sits pretty comfortably in there. Let's zoom in a little bit and move her back into focus. So nice spinning prop there. That's one thing I do like with the wit is, and compared to the newer stuff, propellers are now rather stiff, but that does look pretty good, especially on camera there. I think that looks nice. Yes, secretly inside my head, I'm making the Centaurus noise. Nice all blue display scheme. That's a fitted undercarriage, so you can't take them out, which is a little bit of a shame. And if anybody has seen the newer JC Wings version, so JC Wings bought this mold. You have the down undercarriage, which you can fit in, but there's no up undercarriage, and it's one of my frustrations, especially for a premium model. JC Wings charge a few bob for their models, and it's incredibly frustrating. But not an awful lot of detail on there. The panel lines are very subtle. There are panel lines there. A few stenciling in and around the aircraft, including the serial at the back there, and a few other bits and pieces on the tail, but not a massive amount of detail. Same underneath, a few stencils there, but not a great amount of detail. Let's get her on her undercarriage and see what she looks like. So you're probably aware I've got a bit of a thing for Centaurus engine Sea Furies. I've sat in one actually, the previous Royal Navy historic flight T20 version when it was based at North Weald. Matt very kindly let me sit in it once when it was having its rebuild post first accident, I believe, when it had a wheels up at Caldrose, I think it was Caldrose Airfield at an air show, where the pilot managed to land it dead stick and hydraulics didn't quite lock. So it was down at North Weald for a number of years being repaired because they were specialising in Centaurus engines, and I got to sit in it, which was lovely. But yeah, I've got a real thing for the Sea Fury. And for those who've been watching the airshow scene, there are two very similar aircraft in France at one point. So this is very similar to the Christophe Jacquard version, which now resides in Canada in the same scheme. And there was another one with a silver prop, based with a gentleman called Jan Rusin, who used to own the Hurricane that's now owned by the Czechs at Tochner Airfield. In its previous Battle of France guys, he owns one, and he also owns a second one over in Australia, which is being repainted, which was formerly owned by the old Flying Machine Company. Whether that gets to come to Europe or not, I don't know, but I have seen pictures that it's relatively complete and nearing completion. So that would be nice to see. You can't have enough Sea Furies for me. But look, lovely model. This one particularly different because it's blue. I mean, there's various ones, obviously lots of Royal Navy. There's Dutch, Australian, and Canadian, to name a few. I've even got a Cuban one in my collection, which was a Code 3, which I bought off of eBay, which was previously a Canadian one, I think. As well as the prototype one, which I painted in my very early Code 3 days when I was living at home with my wife, and that was hand painted. But it's actually come up all right, and it's a decent member of the collection, of course, representing the aircraft base with Fighter Engineering Limited at Sywell in Northants. But yeah, look, I mean, I paid 10 quid for this. This is an absolute superb model. I've actually got this twice now, so I bought this purely to review on the channel to give you an idea. So this is sitting on my shelf, my Sea Fury shelf back at home. So it'll probably go back up for sale at some point. I just wanted to review it and give you a bit of an idea of what you can get for money. What the great thing about Witty Wings, they weigh a ton. They're pure, unadulterated diecast. Oh, and I've just managed to break the bloody, what you call it, off there, the undercarriage off there. So I'm going to have to repair that, and that is a good point to end the video. Me and my fat hands, I've just destroyed an ME410's undercarriage, and now I've just done the Sea Fury as well. But look, hope you enjoyed the video. Nice, quick, short video for you. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.